Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Threadlings, a filmmaking production diary, where we show awesome UVs.
Yeah, I was like, what? He didn't
Hey,
post.
that's what we got.
It is what
Um,
we got.
how's everybody doing? My name is Miguel Ortega, and this is Tran Ma.
Hello, everyone.
We're talking about the making of an animated film in Unreal Engine. Um, we did one before, and we're doing one again. Um, yeah, so tell me, Tran, what's new?
Oh, well, just all these UVs. Did you pull up?
Yeah, I'll pull it up in a second. Actually, hold on one second. Sorry, our Alexa's going crazy. Yeah, you can see our Alexa is wants to join the chat. Give me one second. There's So anyway, how's everybody? Let's see who's here today. So Ted is here for the music. So yeah, it's a kick-ass song. I like that song too. Let's see who else we have here. We have Netbug. Let me turn this thing off. That's making noise. Netbug, Marcus, what's up, guys? Adam wants to know what that is. I don't know what he's
Oh, like,
asking.
what is he looking at on the screen? Like, what am I looking at? Yeah.
Yeah. And Ruben, what's up, Ruben? And yeah, Ted again. Happy Friday. So yeah, so what did we do this week? We've been super busy. We have some help on the animation side now, so things are moving along really well. Let me see if I can pull this up.
Yeah, Miguel basically has been, well, we actually have multiple artists helping us, but we don't have progress to show you for it yet. So we have an animator we're happy with, and we have a really good grooming artist helping us out on the Mayo stuff and just picking up some of the work.
Yeah, I could share some of the screen stuff. It's this one doesn't have let me see. So this is just showing like some of the progress on this guy. I don't think this was the final one. No. No, no, no. Let me pull up. You could just see. So this is done by Celine. Um, I'm gonna butcher her last name, but Moliere. Uh, so she's been helping us clean up the shot. Um, so before, she's a Gnomon student, by the way. So before, there was all kinds of messed up contact points here. Let me see if I have the the original one. A lot of messed up contact points, in particular where the hand is touching the wall. It got super messed up. So all of that had to be cleaned up. This is the one I should be opening up. Give me one second, guys. Threadlings, shots, Zor hallway, previs. So this was it. So you could see the hand contact on the glass. That was all messed up before. The hat is now responding. Um, so much better, and it'll probably get cut. It's gonna cut before the touching on the ground. Actually, you'll see it from the reverse, but much better. The hands are all cleaned up. Now working on this one over here. Da, da, da. So this one has no facial stuff on it yet, but clothing is not simmed yet. Hands look much better.
Much better. This one doesn't have any facial yet.
Nothing, no. It's still clean though.
You have a question from Ted. Did you get 2 accent suits working?
We did not get the 2 accent suits working. Yeah, we did not get the 2 accent suits working. So that's a super bummer. Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do about that. But yeah, so that's some of the stuff that Celine is doing. She won best of term this past term, and and yeah, so I reached out to her and she said yeah to help us out. So which we're really happy about. So it's pretty cool. So we'll have more face stuff here. So this is the whole sequence where Kot sees that Zord has come back after he's been attacked and something is off with him. So the way we're doing this is she's basically cleaning up the entire shot. Now, that shot, when we did the mocap, we had the sound edit playing while the actors were acting it out. They didn't have to stick to the timing exactly by any means that I had in my sound edit, but they had some sort of a reference to use. So now she cleans this whole thing up, and you can see that there's no face stuff, and that's intentional. So now what'll happen is once this is all cleaned up, it'll get cut up into separate pieces, and then those pieces will get the face stuff applied to it individually. So it'll be these 80 frames will get this face, these 30 frames will get this face, this 120 frames will get this, and also they'll have different camera angles accordingly. So that's just why this is the process that we use, which is so weird to some animators and to a lot of people. They think it's super weird that we do the sound design first and then move into the images, but that's how we've always done it.
Yeah, but it kind of, to me, makes total sense.
Yeah.
In a weird way, in terms of like the steps and why you'd want to do that first. I mean, the voice acting is the performance, and you're just letting the actor perform it however they need to perform it.
Yeah.
If we need to like change something, we can bring them back.
Yeah.
And just do some pickup audio. But we're just trying to work on that day and get them to act as best as they can, because so much rests on the voice, and you're also doing with like younger kids.
Yeah.
So like trying to tell them to, I don't know, like add more difficulty to it is not a good idea. So, and then it makes sense for us to be able to just do animation afterward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tran, what are you working on right now?
I am doing something super exciting.
You're retopologizing eyes.
Yeah, so I finished all the clothing for these guys. They've all been tested. There's multiple. How many did I come up with in terms of how many extra types? Give me 1 second. Yeah, so that's my lineup here. These are just like notes for myself. So A, B, C, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 extras. I went back and I changed some of these guys that I did earlier. I mean, you probably don't notice difference, but this one's been improved. And then they all now have UVs. So the clothing is very textured and they've been tested. These ones I probably have to go back and like fix the thickness, but I'll just do it when I get to it. And then now what I'm doing is that I'm just retopologizing.
Ethan says A is his favorite.
A.
I have to give Ethan some stuff to do. He's just been so busy.
Yeah, we've been so busy and tired. but yeah, so this is and now he's getting retopoed. So like I kind of discussed this some time back. Like Miguel and I decided to kind of do this like Mr. Potato Head. So this is the base body, and it's gonna be really simple. The mouth is really simple. We're just gonna talk like a Muppet, I guess. Not too many difficult things. And if you look at like all the other facial work on our main characters, there's a lot that happens on the face. These guys are just kind of open their mouths up and down, and then a lot, and then these pieces, like again, Mr. Potato Head, they're just kind of blink. So the facial stuff doesn't have to be that complex, and then that's just a floating nose, and then these features just get swapped out. So that's how this is being done. And what I'm doing is pretty boring, which is just retopologizing these guys and trying to get them to get rigged. And then once that task is done, then it would we send it to the rigger, and I would start texturing it.
Ethan says it looks like a sheep.
It looks like a sheep. Yeah, I mean it looks like something. So
Yeah, Ted asks, the mocap for the face would be lip synced. Yes, it would. So I would probably have to. I'd break it up, and then start doing the mocap for the face. Then probably send it back to Celine, who would make it, who would line it up better and just make it push some of the expressions a little bit. So I have sleepy eyes, for example. So all our characters in our stuff tends to look like they're stoned. Uh,
no, I was like talking to Miguel. I'm like, give me a shot at caught.
yeah,
Like, give me a chance to do the facial.
Tran wants to be an actress.
I don't want to be an actress. I just noticed like when you start doing these things, you like start picking up certain things. Like you start watching other actors, like real people, and then you realize like how expressive their facial muscles are. Like they are just they push their expressions further than I don't know. I think you or I normally push our faces,
Yeah.
right? Like you were watching like little clips of like Games of Thrones, and the Cersei character, or if you look at like Natalie Portman, she's got an extremely expressive face. I don't know. I was telling Miguel I could raise my eyebrows higher.
She's ready she's ready for her close up.
Yeah, I'm ready for my close up. Yeah, so yeah, in any case, I want to give that a shot. I think what you're showing is more interesting, what you're scrubbing through. I basically just have topology. I mean, I could do a couple of things. I can just retopo and we just chat, or we can, I can try to texture him, even though it's not quite ready for it. What do you think, Miguel?
Whatever you want. Retopo is fine. Hey, you know what? This show doesn't promise that it's going to be exciting. It's just what it is.
Yeah, that's true.
Let me see. Mocap.
I don't know, like how exciting this is supposed to be. In any case, when you're talking about behind the scenes, like CG stuff. Yeah, so I'll just get these guys in. So this one I just finished up, just to clean it up, and it's gotten enough.
You don't have them open.
I don't have what open.
You weren't showing it.
Well, I thought you pulled the screen to show your stuff.
Yeah, did you want to show yours?
No, I mean I am here now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm tired. Yeah, so maybe I can be smart about these guys here. We swap eyeballs. And then I'll just go to the other character. So that's extra A. Let me launch the other ones for retopology. you know, the ones I use in Marvelous, like they look cool at a distance, but they're like really, the sculpt is like all blobby and stuff, which is not good. So here's my ZBrush file. That's what this guy's supposed to look like.
He does look like a sheep a little bit.
Yeah. The one thing I should be doing here when I place the eyes, because this is the same one, just to kind of select this face path. And then assign this a new material. And I always do this. It's like a small step, but I always do this. Because it helps me work out the rotation. And this will be like the default. And as soon as I open that up, it's not like the way I painted it. So to have them kind of like slightly cross-eyed or something like that. Maybe like that.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
And I'll just instance this over. Kind of see how that looks. And then this will be given to the rigger, but you always want to give it in the default pose. And I'll just save this. I'll just jump over here. And move on to the next one, which is this right here. Which looks kind of similar. I guess they do kind of look similar, huh? They're like bros. These two here. Some of them look very different. Like really different. But I think Miguel likes these two. That's why we have them. I'll just change the color or something like that. Their background. Yeah, so when I come over to here, before I retopo, I just kind of reevaluate. Like, do I really want to have this shape be like this? So it actually gets, it's not just straight retopoing. I have to go in and clean it up. And I think the thing that would help here, if I just jump over to this one, maybe just showing a bit like right here. And let's reveal this. And let's look at the back side. I usually like, when I do my work, I usually like to be clean. And I do pay attention to areas that I don't think are being seen. And I always make an effort to not let it be super terrible. Whereas sometimes people, I think they go, oh, that's not seen. And they just let it be bad. But I don't think that's a good thing. Because sometimes stuff just appears when you at least kind of expect it, or I don't know. I've always had this rule where anything that you kind of half-ass on your work, somehow it's going to become visible later, even if you just don't think it's possible. And that's kind of happened to me, like on everything I've worked on. So anything I've just done a bad job on will be exposed in some way later. So I always make an effort to never do something bad. Okay. And I don't really want to retopo this without this being cleaner. So I'll just take a look. Because it's a little bit wobbly. And I don't really want all this wobbliness. It was fine for, sticking it into Marvelous and getting an idea. But once now that I want to finish this, I want this to be nicer. And I wanted this to be cleaner. And just like less shoved in. And I'm just adjusting the curves right now, like the shape of it. And it's like super wobbly. So this is kind of my favorite angle to look at for all my sculpts, whether they're Threadlings or humans. Because pretty much like if you go underneath, every problem will present itself from like this bottom angle, especially in like humans. And then I can see like all that, it's like super wobbly. I just want to adjust the shape. So it's a little bit voluminous on that side, but not so much here. Let's drop this down. So it's a little bit easier. And then just round this out. So that's like my process. Which is not super exciting.
That looks cool. Should I say something deeper? It looks good.
Thanks. No, I wish this stuff I wish this could be auto retopo and it just be done. But we're not there yet. Although I feel like at this point, like, I wonder with all this AI stuff, like if these tools, like auto retopo is going to be better. I don't know. What do you think, Miguel?
I don't know. We still don't have mirror UVs, and we have automated, amazing concept artists. So I don't understand the order in which tech is advancing.
Yeah. Still has to be manual on this stuff. You can use the remesher, but it's just not good enough. In my opinion, or any other retopology. Okay, I think that's kind of like the form is a little bit better. The bulge is a little bit over here. And I'm just trying to check for these not to be really wobbly, because it just won't look good.
You know what? I think I saw something this past week about a tool that Autodesk is trying to do for auto topology that did require you to upload your model within Maya. Like it uploads it automatically to the web, and it retopologizes it there. And
Was it promising?
well, I think the thing with that is they're trying to do that to acquire models, to build a data set to automate stuff.
For real?
Yeah.
So wait a minute.
Ted is saying it's called Flow. I think is that the Autodesk thing? Like the only reason why we can't automate all this stuff right now is because there's not enough data for it to use, right? Like not enough people upload their final roto before and after. Not enough people upload their topology before and after, right? That's why it's able to create images and not something as
because you'll see.
because there's a trillion images for it to use as reference.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ted says it's called Flow.
But okay, so this thing is asking to upload, just so that, and it will actually retopo it, or it's just asking for your topology.
No, it's not going to just ask for you. It needs to give you something in return, or else why would you upload it?
I see. Is that something they say, like we're trying to build a database, or
I didn't look too into it, but I know that like the one thing I saw is people immediately started saying that.
Ah, okay. Yeah, you just guys, yeah, everyone's suspicious now.
Yeah, because like some of the people were saying how like the new Microsoft iOS or OS, not iOS, OS apparently is like has AI built into it. But one of the things about it is that it apparently records everything you're doing throughout the whole day,
What?
right? Well,
Okay.
remember, all AI is it needs to have reference to use, right?
Yeah, of course, but
So
still.
now it's like basically, and someone was like, back in the days we used to call that spyware, and it's like, yeah, that's exactly
Yeah, it
right.
sounds like spyware. Um, but what is this? Microsoft what? This thing that spies on you? That's, I didn't catch that first part.
It's I think their new initiative for an operating system.
That's scary. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think people would like that because that completely does sound like spyware.
It's completely spyware.
Yeah, it's super invasive. Um, no, I don't imagine anyone wanting that or that like really being legal. But okay, I guess it's scary times. So I'm cleaning up this right here, which is super exciting to look at. I don't know why I sculpted this dent here because that just gives me problems now. I remember Mudbox had like this tool called fill holes, and like would sculpt in dents. I don't know if we ever really have anything in here like that. Like I've looked for it, but it would just make everything more even.
In Mudbox?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this one, I mean, there's something like they're smooth to fill in gaps and stuff. Like you can change this, but it's not the same. So I'll just smooth this whole area out. And I just try to get this as clean as I can. Usually when I'm doing this, I just like have some video playing because it's really monotonous. But that is the stage I'm in. I guess maybe at least you could see me cleaning up stuff that it has to be. Because I'd like this to, I feel like when you retopo on something that is like really dirty or not quite as nice, it just affects your base topology. It's just gonna look all wobbly. And you can tell, like it will look just not great. I don't have to get everything totally perfect.
If you retopo without the model being smooth,
About being cleaner,
yeah.
yeah, it just looks like it looks bad. It's gonna pick up all these like dents. I don't have to get it perfect, but I just got to get it nicer. Um, and then once it's nicer, it'll be good enough. Just build up this edge. I think like one of the things that is to me this feels like I'm sculpting a sphere that's a little bit more sophisticated, and it's kind of tedious. Um, to me, it's like easier just to do something like a little bit more anatomical, where it doesn't have to be so like round. And you won't, because it's anatomical, no one's like going, oh, that is not quite, that curve is not quite perfect. Whereas here, it's so simple, it has to be like right. And I have to resolve like the connection. What do you think, Miguel?
Yeah. I'm opening up Unreal to bring in some of those shots so we could see how it looks with the proper lighting and everything. You know, I was watching this thing how apparently this generation likes very long content.
Really?
Yeah, like what was it about? Um, it was a 4 hour long video about something completely unimportant, and people like loved it because people just love 4 hour long things on boring shit. Isn't that weird? It's because of what you do. Like you listen to that lady that just talks about crime stuff for like hours. I think people just like long stuff so they could work in the meantime.
Oh, like I think there is definitely a culture of people just leaving things playing
Yeah,
on the TV in the background while they're doing other things.
yeah.
Like for example, doing chores and stuff like that.
We went to Netflix this week. That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
It's an amazing facility. It's got everything.
Let me see. Opening this up. Yeah, it was cool. We got invited to Netflix to we met with Dan Lin over there, which is pretty cool. Dan Lin is the guy who created the Ride Back program we're in, and he's now the head of Netflix film department. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Yeah,
Very important figure.
yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. I was just looking at the chat. Let's see. Oh, I see. Someone's like, yeah, it's good to work, but the ads are annoying. I don't, you know what? I don't feel, I don't get as bothered by the ads if you're talking about YouTube, but I can't do Hulu ads. They're like, to me, really, really intense.
You just have to pay for. You're on YouTube all the time. Just pay the $10. It's the best $10 or $15 you'll ever spend in your life.
On
Uh,
YouTube, I don't think the YouTube, yeah, but I don't think the YouTube ads are that bad. That's what I'm saying. I think the Hulu ones are like,
no,
really,
they're annoying as hell.
really?
YouTube ads suck. Yeah,
They're
I
not as long as the Hulu ones. Hulu ones are like 3 minutes. Like you'll watch something and you'll have like ads every 10 minutes or every 5 minutes, or that's what it feels like. Even when you pay the tier to like reduce the ads, you still get so much. I don't know. I just feel it's not worth it.
I pay for the YouTube ones, and I haven't seen a commercial in months, and it's the best. I think Alex was the one that was it. Alex said that he's the one that made me upgrade to Pro, and I've never looked back.
For YouTube?
Yeah, it's like the best thing ever. Okay, let me see what is going on here. So I am trying to bring this into. Let me see this right here. Zord shot.
You're trying to bring in the animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's much more exciting. Like this is like watching paint dry.
Yeah, I mean, I could just take over for now. So let me see. So right now I'm trying to bring this into Unreal. So I'm just looking at the references here for a second. So 67. What's up, Bobby? Okay, so that's. So let me save this. And I'm gonna open up the rig. So just so you know what I'm doing, I am trying to get this into Unreal, but I can't just export it out. I want to get the shaders assigned to it. So I have to come over here and get this all set up. Workflow. Yes. So we got that. Windows rendering editors. Hypershade. So we have our materials here. So I usually just go in here and add some kind of color. Let's make this. Gums is fine, so that's fine. Okay. So all the materials are assigned to this.
It just turned into a weird color.
Yeah. No, I turn them into a weird color. I just want to make sure it's assigned correctly. So you can't just drag the shader onto it.
Yeah, you have to assign faces.
And that's where it gets a little bit weird. So you have to assign it to the faces literally like this. Right click, assign material to select it. However, if you do that, a lot of times it's not going to work. So first thing I do is I have to just drag a Lambert or anything onto it and then do this. And when I do that, it works. How do you know it works? If you come over to the shader, select objects with material, and you should see the faces are all selected. Now it'll work. Show, isolate, select, view selected. Now we go to the body, assign a surface shade, like the generic shader. And now assign the body to the faces. Super weird, but that's how it has to be done.
For an alembic, it's I think that one of the things that's like overcomplicated is how you assign materials, basically material IDs to get an Unreal. So like for an alembic file, you have to assign it to the faces like what Miguel is doing. And you have to name the shaders, the shading group, right? So not the actual material. And it inherits that, the shading group. And for like an FBX, it's different, right? It like looks at, I believe, we didn't use a lot of that, but it looks at the shader name, not the material shading group. So it's like overcomplicated to me. Like, I don't know why it can just not be, but I mean, I kind of do know why. It's just because Alembic's different format, but it still sucks.
Yeah. So, okay, so just doing that to all of this. So you can see we select the Kirill. Hello. Yeah, people are still talking about the ads. So you struck a nerve.
I think everyone hates ads.
Okay, so let's see. Show.
Yeah.
Okay, that should be everything. So see if that saves. So okay, so that's it. Applied. So let's see. Dago cart. What else happened this week?
Felt like a lot. We went to Netflix. We worked. I don't know. We had meetings with other artists on their progress, and again, We're not showing it, but we have an amazing hair artist along
Oh
with this
yeah, yeah, yeah.
animator. And so we've been, you know, just packing up files, like sending a stripped down.
A lot of hair progress.
Yeah. So you know, I had to do things like strip down duplicate my Unreal project, strip it down so I could ship it for someone else to have, and then upload that. Like it's like not, it's stuff that you have to do and it takes up your time. So, you know, the more people you work with, the more you have to spend time like talking to, you know, communicating, doing like running a team. So that's some of our work. But, you know, of course, that progresses other stuff and it gets it moving forward. And we're super happy with the hair artists that we have that specializes in hair. And so they're like really doing great work.
Watch the sculpting stream in the morning. Very inspiring. That's Giovanni Napkio. Yeah, he's much more inspiring than us. So if you just saw that, you're gonna find this to be super boring.
The sculpting stream?
Gio Napkio did a Gnomon stream.
Oh yeah, I bet you that's cool. He's one of the best sculptors ever. Yeah, and you just watching me do a crappy eye. You're like, this lady sucks. Oh, you like my stream, like our streams too? Thank you. I wish you know, the stuff we talk about are like things that we absolutely have to to do to move this stuff forward. So it's just a bunch of stuff. And I'm like realizing like, wow, I have to spend quite a bit cleaning up this stuff. Maybe I'll leave it a little bit softer. And just move to retopol.
So.
Are you still assigning the faces?
No, so it's all good. I think since all our shaders were the same color, Celine added different shaders.
You should tell her she should
Yeah,
not.
I will. So yeah. Let's get this. Let's get that guy. Output. So see body, eyes, teeth, gums. And then clothing, hat, shoes. So let's export this out. Okay, so now export selection to Alembic. That's correct. So over here, strip namespaces, UV right face sets, and world space. So shots, sort hallway, collapse. And let's output that. The Alembic part is a pain in the butt, huh? Like exporting all this stuff.
Oh, it's super pain. You know, it's alembics have always been a process, a part of the film pipeline process. It's not just like, oh, Miguel and I just want to use it. It's like super standard. And then when we switched over to Unreal, it became more complicated and much more difficult, in my opinion. And yeah, and it actually slows things down a lot. For me, I felt like getting things in, and we just can't avoid the Alembic pipeline. And I don't think any film production really can, because we use that for the cloth. We use that. I just think it looks better. And then we have to shot model our stuff too. So meaning like we will very likely, you know, get some animation, and then some of the deformations might not work or look funny, or we just want to improve it. So we'll resculpt the animation, but not change the animation, but the animated one. So basically sculpt over an animation and correct the forms. And that's like our Alembic pipeline. Then it'll produce that mesh. But yeah, it used to be just like really easy. Now it's like, this is more complicated. With assigning all this stuff, it was very tedious.
So you can see right now it's going frame by frame and exporting.
I see that my thing is still streaming.
What do you mean?
Like the little window. You can still see what I'm working on.
Yeah, let's look at what you're doing in the meantime.
Sculpting a ball.
Sculpting a ball.
It's smoother now. It's less wobbly. If there was a torturous task to sculpt, it would be try to sculpt perfect sphere from not a sphere, like from like a blob.
They tried doing that at Tippett. Remember I told you? Not sculpting it, but the guy wanted to make a sphere without it was a sphere without a 5-point junction or triangles.
Okay, how do you do that without a junction? 5-point junction?
Yeah. Like a star.
I don't know if you can avoid that.
Yeah. Tippett used to just send modelers on like fool's errands like that for absolutely no reason whatsoever. The rigging department was just kind of nuts. They would just say like, "Oh, you can't have this," and it was just because like they were, you know, above the modeler, so they would just ask for stupid shit. Like now that we've done enough stuff, you're like, you didn't need to make people do that. It was just you
Power tripping.
power tripping and slowing down the whole pipeline for no reason whatsoever. Let's see.
That was that sounds so frustrating. Yeah, we don't have rules like that.
Okay, so let me keep showing that. Okay, so now we're bringing this in here. So geometry cache, that's fine, that's fine. Find materials. Let's import this. This is gonna take a while, so. So while that does that, you can go back to the awesome sphere. Great question from Ted. Are you running into Alembic file size issues like you did in Voice in the Hollow? Not yet, because we haven't brought anything that big, but I'm certain we're gonna.
Yeah, so we have hair, and that is an alembic.
We'd bring that in as a separate alembic, though.
Yeah, but we, like, how many alembics can we bring in of hair? Like, if the, it's easy to attach hair to a rig.
Look what Ted just wrote, but skip empty frame. Look
Yeah.
at Ted knows all the trials and tribulations we went through on
Yeah.
Voice
This,
in the Hollow.
but this one here now that is the trickier thing is like because we use alembic and we have to shop model, it means it's like not a rig anymore, and trying to deal with attaching hair. Like how do we go about that? Because if you export an alembic file for every animation, it will be actually very big. So we were like getting results on the fuzz, which looks really nice. But the fuzz is like almost 500 megabytes, just the alembic file. So, you know, if you, how many shots you have, if you have to do alembic cache of a hair groom,
For every single shot.
yeah, it doesn't, that won't work. So now, I don't know, we'll have to come up with some kind of solution. It'll probably be like the most low-tech, stupid thing because I'll probably be the one dealing with it, and I will deal with it in my way, which is low-tech and low-tech and stupid and very manual. That's what probably will happen. I really could see that future of just importing alembic files and stuff like that. I think, yeah, I think it might have to be something really like crazy, like padding the beginning of animation from like an A pose. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Like starting the character from an A pose into the pose. And then the other thing like that it's going to be affected is like where is the placement of this animation?
Oh, this is kind of cool. Let me show this. So let's see how that looks here.
That's cool. Play
And I
that
can
again.
see it from over here. Look at all the cameras. I always love seeing that.
Oh, you gotta turn off the nanite ray tracing dot mode.
It's 0 or 1. There
I
it
think
is.
it's one.
That's what I put.
I don't know. It's the opposite.
It's 1. So that looks better, right?
Yeah, of course. There's no more weird light leak stuff.
What just happened there? God, this goes so slow when I'm streaming. Like it just dies with this thing. When I'm not streaming, this thing is pretty smooth.
The stream is intense on the graphics card.
That looks cool. This is a little caught. Let's see.
Can you play that again? 'Cause it was like,
It's just crazy choppy.
what did you used to do? You used to click on the browser.
It's not that. It's
Yeah, but you had this trick.
it has that. That's not a trick. Right now, it's
Oh, your computer is just chugging.
yeah.
He looks so scary. Like his facial expressions are like intense.
Let me save this.
I feel like I should, when I see him here, reduce the red around his mouth and the nose and the texture.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it depends if he. Do you like that? Not take it all out, but just make it. Like more reduced. Like his mouth feels like he's got like a lining of lipstick. Like it's too red.
Yeah, that's fine. Let me see transform here. I don't know how I feel about that move, like the camera move like that, but let's see.
So what are you adjusting the camera?
Yeah. I mean, this camera is definitely not final. I know when he falls, he has to fall on the wide. That I know. So I would want that. The eyes roll back, which are not in there yet. I'm gonna do the faces later, and then cut to this.
I would definitely turn off. Is there directional light still? I mean, lighting looks pretty good, even though it's not lit for this. It's like not really lit yet. Turn it off. Yeah,
Soft.
it's like moodier.
Let me save this.
You think those windows hold up?
Yeah. Why you don't?
No, I'm just. Well, they're not bad, but they're not. They're not great.
So Ted is saying Mush 3D supports FBX now. I need to look into this whole FBX Mush and just the new FBX in general, because I tried exporting an FBX and bringing it into here, and it still gave me all kinds of issues about deformers.
You mean for the FBI, the rig?
Yeah. Hold on, I'm getting a question.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's something a hurdle right now for us, um, which I think we'll have to work out really, really soon.
this looks so messed up before. Like that hand touching the wall and the glass was not like that at all before.
Yes, it was just like he was going through it. His head was going through it. Everything was going through the wall.
Everything, it was a mess.
And then the jester like thingies, like the things on top of his head, were just doing weird stuff. Right now, it looks more controlled, like or animated. It's been animated, right?
Yeah, totally. Like how it's like,
No, it's
it looks,
responding to his emotions.
yeah.
When I look at this shot, I'm excited. I'm glad to see things, but then instantly, I mean, I look at the performance first, and I'm like, okay, that's good, and then instantly I start um, evaluating everything. Like, I think the material looks really good, like the texture of his clothes. I wonder if the window is good enough, and then I think that I should lighten the reds on his nose and his mouth, or I should create like a material to control how much there is or something like that. But I wonder if the windows look nice enough.
Let's look at another angle here.
Those are cool. Maybe more reflections, different specularity in a glass. Yeah, I mean, it could be that, but I don't think it would be that reflective when you have a lot of light coming in. I just think the pattern maybe it's just it's like a texture. I just don't. I think maybe it's not that nice.
Yeah, it actually wouldn't be that reflective if
Yeah.
that sort of glass is not reflective. It's there's a texture to it. It's almost it's a stained glass, so
It works well at distance, but now we're getting close. You know, those are things I start to think about as it gets into the shot. Um, like I already know, like when you get close to certain parts, that we're probably gonna want to improve it. It's not like it's really bad. It's just like when you get really close to it, does it really look that good? Is there like a better option?
I like how creepy his face is.
You like how creepy his face is?
Yeah, he's creepy as shit.
He's super creepy. I think the materials look good on him. And his red is quite dark though.
This is not necessarily the angle, of course. I'm just
Yeah, but it's cool. You're playing, like, we're getting, like, an angle like that could be easier to,
Well, you can see at that angle, it creates issues with the hat, which you don't see in the other.
yeah.
Let's take a look at another. So right now we're just finding stuff. So I shoot this with IMAX 70 millimeter. That way we get a shallow, really shallow depth of field so that they feel small.
Look at his face. Straga really, like, um, brought him to another level with those expressions.
Let's keep it over here. I'm okay with it getting cut off because it's going to add to the chaos. So over here, I probably want that. And you can really see the detail on the...
Yeah, I'm glad, like, I feel like the environment holds up pretty well. I think the window's okay. But, you know, I always want things to look as best as I could get them. What do you think of his teeth?
A little glowy.
There's probably separate material for that.
So like over here. Let's I'm just adding keyframes. Over here, let's see. You know what I'll probably do in the final edit is make him go in and out of focus here. Kind of like I did with Koa when she's getting put into a trance here.
Uh-huh. You know, also the other thing we haven't really explored is like, you know, how stylistic does the lighting get? I liked how we really pushed that.
These are just other angles that I had found that I liked. So that one. This is the one that we just set up. But I like these. I don't know if I'm gonna use them because I want to try to keep this as much as possible from Katsa POV, but I do like seeing him dead from above. So that one I may go with.
I mean, it is cool. And Cot's supposed to be there, right?
And then the wide. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You know, if 5 years ago I knew that we could do shots like this, I would just like not believe it.
You mean like in real time?
Yeah, real time, seeing all this and with materials and seeing the lighting and everything. I just wouldn't believe that is possible. Like I just remember so much of just how hard it was to get things to look good. And then when you would spend like so long um, lighting and then rendering it, and then because it was so slow, just like one change, and then you spend like an hour waiting to see that change, and then when you think you finally got it, you send it off to render, and then when it renders at full quality, you're like, that's not what I thought it was supposed to be, and then just being like disappointed.
2 point. Yeah. All right, let's see.
And then you just kind of went like, well, I don't have any more time because we have to do other shots, and if we can, we'll come back to it. And then that's just how it was. Let's see. Yeah, Bobby. I know, right? Let me some Unreal rendering. Puts Mentor shame. Mentor was so hard to use. um, like things just didn't work, and you'd be like, I don't know why.
Mentore was a nightmare.
Yeah, it just was so limited.
Remember there used to be like this just massive book that we bought on Mentore because it was so complicated.
Well, the thing is, back then, I remember just thinking like, God, I'm so dumb. Like, why can't I figure this out? And there was truth that I just didn't know. So there was some stupidity, but as soon as like other like V-Ray came out, it just made more sense. And then I was kind of like, oh, maybe I'm not that dumb. It just was not like efficient. And I look back at it, things just didn't work sometimes. Um, and it was just like knowing like little stupid things to get it to work, which I just don't think that's a good sign of like software. And then now we have this Unreal.
So what I'll probably do here, for example, is I'll go to the manual focus right around
Because it was
here.
broke.
And lose the focus entirely.
I like that.
All right, so let's see that. To the one. Why are you not showing me?
I really like those wide shots.
Yeah.
You know what I like? I like looking at it and thinking like, oh, just fix this here and there on the environments, or adjust this and this. But it's not like doesn't feel like a total like.
Like in Voice in the Hollow, where it's like, oh my god, everything sucks.
Yeah, in Voice in the Hollow, when we were framing shots, it just looks so bad. You're like, I don't know if this is gonna work. We built the sets like really quick, and everything was done really fast.
Yeah, Dago Car, I think you're right. I think that's the one. The book from Try May or Sorry Tran.
Yeah, no, it's okay. But yeah, in Voice in the Hollow, we built the sets faster, which was cool. But then when we would start putting them in shots, like they just wouldn't hold. Because this time I think we spent a lot more time, and then all the texture resolution is really good. Right, so none of these are like super like high res textures with a lot of UDIMs, so there's a lot of texel density on all the environments, and they just hold up. And that's really paying off a lot. And I am not feeling like, oh, I gotta really change this. I just think, oh, the window. But that's not too much of a problem to me. Yeah, I like it going out of focus like that.
Yeah, I wish it was smoother.
Oh, you mean not choppy on the stream?
Yeah.
It's okay. It will be not choppy when it's done, I guess.
Yeah, it's because it's on the stream. All right, you want to show some of your stuff for now?
Yeah, I guess so. I decided I'm good with the cleanup. And now I'm doing this fun part, which is just manually retoping it. I don't think you can escape like or like kind of run away from having to retopologize stuff. I don't know. I don't not think. I know you can't. So everything has to be manually retopoed. Like this. Super exciting. At least it's easy. Like sometimes, well, when I did the topology on like the characters' faces, I put a lot of time into it. It was not like, oh, just do this. It was really, really carefully done. And that was in order to like make sure all our like facial riggers were happy with it and that they had enough to work with. This one, I think Miguel is just going to do the blend shapes, or me, whichever one of us is like has time. And we'll just like go, oh, okay, that's good.
Daria is asking a question. was spending a lot of time on the environment's conscious decision with the future shots in mind, or did you just, or you just did it in case? No, we knew. So we had the script already written, so we knew what we needed. Um, well, we didn't have the script written. We were writing the script as.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's like something like that's just holds true, right? Like in any production, the more time you spend making something look nice, the more it's going to pay off later. Um, and that's just kind of like, that's just given. And on Voice in the Hollow, we just were trying to get it done faster. So it was kind of like a given too that we would have to rework things. I think part of it though, like the challenge in Voice of the Hollow was like Lumen not supporting like grass and shit at all in the beginning. So when we started the project, we had a choice to start in version 4, or version 5 that just came out that was like not recommended at all to use. And we're like, oh, well, let's just go with 5 and it's going to upgrade as you go. And so we just started lighting stuff, and we just didn't have like, I don't know, you don't have a lot to light. You can't put, and we had a lot of wilderness. Like, so there were a lot of exterior, like no civilization shots, right? You know, they're just surrounded by nature. So I didn't even know what to like build, to be honest, because if you just take everything away, like grass and trees, it leaves you with very little to do. And that was kind of the reason why we didn't spend as much time. It's a little bit long-winded answer, but that was definitely one of the reasons why, actually. Because what are we trying to make? Just trying to figure that out was like hard. Eventually, like it started supporting stuff, and so we had like a couple of trees at the end, but very little vegetation. And it was also like doing the shots and working out the art direction at the same time. So it was very stressful. And this one, because Miguel was on the script a lot, it gave me more time to work the sets. And then one of the things the decisions I made right away was like making sure everything has a ton of texture resolution. So like those environments like have like many 4K, like there's 4K maps, multiple like UDIMs on every single piece, so they hold up really well. It doesn't really change how much work you have to do when you decide you want more resolution on your textures, and you just make sure you UV it first. But yeah, and then everything being custom and marvelous just made everything a little bit slower. But that was kind of like a discovery too, right, Miguel?
Yeah.
Originally, there's all these other ideas. Like I know Miguel really wanted like a crochet look.
I still think we're gonna end up with crochet somewhere. Now that we got the fur working with Alina.
Yeah, but I'm kind of like, who's gonna make it?
Alina.
Yeah, well, she can do hair and fur, but like a crochet model.
I have faith.
I'm just like, why don't you do it, Miguel?
There's gonna be a crochet corridor.
A crochet corridor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess there could be. I'm not against anything. I just, if I don't know how to make it, I don't know how to make it. Yeah, so now you guys can see me retopol.
Do you still work with NURB patch modeling sometimes? Never ever.
Yeah. There's some people that still use NURBS for like some of their tools to get hard surface stuff. I don't even do that. I've just kind of not. I've never embraced NURBS. So when I started learning like 3D, NURBS was on the way out. So I was like, oh, I'm just not going to invest my time. So I just don't really know NURBS very well. But there's some people that still use it for modeling and they get really great results, and that's cool. But NURBS is like difficult, no?
Yeah.
You like, that's how you learned how to model initially.
That's how I learned how to model. Yeah.
And then you didn't like it either, no?
No, nobody likes it.
Nobody liked it.
No, it's horrific.
But then wasn't modeling super hard back then?
Modeling was the most horrific thing in the world. I honestly don't know how anybody wanted to be a modeler back then.
Yeah. It was super technical.
Yeah.
And then ZBrush didn't like exist. Like all these tools, quad draw, all that stuff didn't exist back then.
So take a look at this. So when I play around with some of these reflections, so the default is this. Yeah?
Okay.
Look at this here in particular. When I set this to hit lighting for reflection, this method gives the highest reflection quality but greatly increases GPU costs. That looks better.
Yeah, it does. It looks like it's interacting more.
Yeah, that looks better. Okay, so let's see. Lumen. I just want to see what these other ones. I know it. I know we're gonna go to
That's it. What was that mode?
this one.
Yeah, what is that?
Screen space.
It's very interesting. On certain shots like this, I would definitely like.
Crank this up.
Well, no, I would probably try to relight it from nothing. I just feel like it. He ne- he needs to look like have more shadow on his face. Like he does have shadow, but he has like a lot of fill.
That looks good. Hide all of these lights.
Yeah, I, that looks nice. So you hit every light. There's also maybe like the material, maybe letting it. I like it going off focus, but maybe letting the material on the windows blow out more. Maybe that's what it is. Or maybe the windows just need to be improved.
So you don't think he needs that rim light?
I think that looks good.
The rim light?
Yeah. I would just try to hide the fog source or whatever. I just think the windows are ugly. That's what I think. I just think the windows are bad. I think he looks good, like when you light him like that. Like his forms read more. So like Voice in a Hollow, every shot had to be really art directed on the lighting, particularly because when you just put a light on the characters in Voice in the Hollow, they would just look really bad.
Yeah, you couldn't let it go into darkness.
No, that was just like early Lumen. And this one is like,
Does this have grain?
I don't think so. I don't like looking at it while I'm doing the environment, but I think it's helpful when you're starting lighting.
There, it's better. Let's save this. That looks cool.
It does.
Poor little Zort.
Now the lights are, yeah. I think we have to work out like how we handle the sequences and like the levels. Like I think that we should do, because we ended up doing it anyway, duplicating the map per sequence. Do you know what I mean? Because that kind of to me works like having a Maya file.
Yeah, we need to do.
Yeah, we need to work out a pipeline.
Yeah.
I think that when we use one map for all the shots, everything started breaking.
What we need to do is do the subsequence where you basically put the lights on a subsequence, and that subsequence is on a light by light basis. You see what I mean?
Yeah, so we have to work that pipeline out like very soon. Kind of now, I guess. Because it made a huge mess.
That's pretty cool. I did not think this was going to be the first shot, but there you go.
No, I thought you kind of wanted it to be.
I thought I was going to be caught.
I guess that's true. The first shot is Zort dying. I think it'd also be cool, like, if we set up like a texture pass where his face changes a little bit.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like, I don't know, like cloth veins. They don't have veins, but they have cloth veins, I guess. I like that pose. It's dramatic.
It's cool. All right, let's see.
It's hard for me to watch Thor in pain for 2 weeks straight. Thanks, Dago Cart. There's a Dago Cart. Do you think, I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud, like, do you think the windows are like not that good?
You're obsessed with the windows.
Because I don't think they look that good. And they're prominent. Nothing can look bad in a shot. It's kind of my job to make sure nothing looks bad in a shot. Definitely like how it goes out of focus is much nicer um, than before. There's a question which version of Unreal we're using. It's not, we're not in 5.4. We're in,
5.3.
yeah,
I wonder if he should have stuff coming out of his mouth.
like foamy shit.
Something gross.
Like what?
I don't know, something gross.
I mean, it could be almost anything.
Yeah, as long as it's gross.
Could be like fluids, lava fluid, or it could be like parts of him.
So that's his teeth. Okay, oh, I see. Okay. Albedo dark. I think his teeth, the materials were messed with.
Well, the teeth wasn't dialed because I couldn't see his teeth when I brought him in.
But that already feels better.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was. So let's save this.
He's a little, like, he's really scary. That's what I mean. Like, do you like the nose being redder and then the dark lining around his mouth? It's a little bit darker once once it's Unreal. In Unreal, like in Substance, it was just kind of pink, and in here it's showing darker. Do you like that? It adds a level of creepiness.
I think it's cool when he's in this stage, right? Maybe not so much. I think the textures can be pushed even further here to look creepier.
Oh yeah,
Like when he
that's
raises his head here, like do a switcheroo. Do you know what I mean? And his head comes up and it looks all fucked up.
yeah. Well, we can create a material like attribute.
So it looks fine there, and then the head comes up there. It looks more messed up, comes back down, brings it back up, and it's even more messed up. And then the eyes roll back, and he falls. He says, "Help me," and then he passes out.
Well, I guess like watching that scene from Game of Thrones.
With Jeffrey,
Yeah, or Joffrey, how he like
Joffrey.
dies. I don't know. I think most people like have seen that.
So good.
And his face just looks so scary in that moment. He has like a really ugly death. Giving this guy like a super ugly death would be cool.
Okay, so I'm just playing this thing on a loop. So this is what I do that starts driving people nuts because I could just look at this thing on a loop for like freaking hours to get ideas.
Yeah, you're just thinking inside your head right
Yeah,
now.
right now I'm just thinking like, okay, the face every time it comes up, it's got to start deforming a little bit more texturally. But if you don't know what I'm thinking about, you're just thinking
What
this
is this?
guy's an idiot and he's just looking at paint peel. So okay, so just go. Let's go back to Tran.
We're almost done. We got like 5 more minutes. I gotta
Okay.
just basically um, I started topoing this, so it's good. And now I'm just counting edges. And just closing this mesh. Super exciting. I mean, I do get tired of doing this. So, like, the monotonous task where it does kind of wear me out. But there's not much to do about that. Just gotta keep pushing. But this one's almost done. Well, kinda. So I have this laid out. And now I'm trying to close it. I don't have the inside. I didn't sculpt the inside very well. So if I were to trace that one, it'd be all wobbly. I don't really like that. I like things to be clean. So here it has like a really nice, perfect sphere on the inside. And so the contact is good. So what I'll probably do is just duplicate this sphere and then do some weird, I don't know, some weird stuff just to get that going. And then just keep doing this until all of these are done. I'm tired a little bit, to be honest, because this stuff is like a lot of work. But I think I'll be like I'll find like my burst of energy as soon as we start getting into shots. And then it will be like different. Like the feeling right now is like just like I'm just doing like an intense amount of modeling. That's how it feels. Because it is what I'm doing basically. And I think once I get into shots, and even if I still have to, I mean, I'm going to light, so that's going to change the monotony of it. But if I have to like do things like fix the window, which I don't think looks so great, it won't feel as tedious because it will be for a shot rather than just for something, rather than just making something. I don't know if that makes sense.
I think this guy has to be puking, is what it is. I think he needs to be vomiting something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in the scene where Joffrey dies, he's got like all kinds of crap coming out of his face.
Yeah.
And it works really well. Right?
That's right.
So right now you're thinking about what it is.
Yeah, so I watch a shot in a loop for like an hour and then I come up with one idea.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Anyway, I think that's it. We have 2 minutes left for this week. I'm just going to continue this and get through all of this. And then I'll be super excited to get into shots.
Let's hear that with the sound.
Yeah, let's do that. I do think seeing all this stuff, though, like, really excites me.
Zora, are you alright?
And that's when he falls. Help me. Yeah, the timing was totally off, but whatever. It's gonna be cool. So we got to get the breathing in there. I gotta ask Celine if she was able to put that in there, or I don't know if it was even in the rig. It might be there. Just the cloth is not reacting to it.
Now, that facial animation, is that like from mocap X?
Yeah,
That's you in pain.
yeah, that's me in pain. I gotta redo it though because he needs to say, he's got to say, "Help me" right before he passes out.
Yeah, but no, I mean, it makes sense like why you haven't yet, because you start doing that once you kind of place the character in the shot and stuff first, right?
Yeah.
And then you can come back and do that. But,
See.
but that's it, folks.
That's it, folks. We will see you guys. Vomiting on fabric is crazy. Well, he would be vomiting fabric, so he'd be vomiting something. Or not. That's the thing, is if he has an organic thing inside him, maybe the stuff he's puking out is
Yeah, so I was saying larva juice.
larva juice.
Cool,
Yes.
right? Larva juice.
Yeah. Miguel has class. I do have class. I have to go to class by 3:30. So, all right, guys. Are you able to use Live Link with 5.3? I don't like Live Link very much, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Cool stuff, guys. Ethan says he votes straight vomit.
String vomit.
String vomit.
I don't know. I think it's a little. That would be too. A little too funny. And we want to be a little bit more gross than funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. We will see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Bye, bye everyone.
Okay, let me wrap this up.